I forgot to put in my. I do this every time, man. All right. And we are live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Cannabis Mom Boss Show, where we empower others to safely and confidently come out of the green closet to modernize the perception of today's cannabis consumer while also teaching business and entrepreneurship skills to create your own unique career path. 1 second, I just need to make sure that my headphones are properly plugged in. I don't think they are. Are they? Hello. I don't think they are, but we'll see how this goes. I'm the only one talking, so I guess it doesn't matter. But I'm your host, Jenny Blaze, and today we are talking about how to drive traffic to your online shop or sales page to increase revenue, obviously. I mean, that would be my goal. This question came from someone, I think we were chatting through Twitter, and someone said, I have art for sale on my website, but I have low traffic. How do I get more traffic? So I'm going to answer that question. But then I'm going to ask some questions of my own to all of you listening. And I want you to really evaluate if you truly want to elevate your brand and your business to live the dreams and goals you want for yourself. I turned 40 this year, so I'm like, I'm supposed to be living my best life right now. So actually, you know what? I didn't even think about the movie This Is 40 when I turned 40, but now that I'm reflecting, I feel like that movie's so on point. Like, you want to live your best life. We're not getting any younger. Now's the time. When are you going to wait to live your best life? And I remember actually the same thing happened to me around age 30 as well. I was like, I'm not in my 20s anymore. Like, what does this even mean to be in my 30s? Where do I want to be? And then in the next 10 years, like, who do I want to be? So we're gonna get into all that. I'm going on a tangent, but I want to make sure that I remind you to subscribe to the YouTube channel or to the podcast, and make sure you turn on notifications. We are live for Cannabis Mom Boss every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, unless there's a holiday or something. That's the beauty of being your own boss, is that you can make your own schedule. But for me, I like routine. So having a weekly cadence is what works best for me. But don't worry if you miss a live stream. You can always watch the replay on YouTube or listen to the audio podcast on Apple, Spotify, or Google Podcasts. I also want to remind you all that we have the upcoming 2023 Cannabis Mom Boss Manifestation Workshop, which I'm thinking of doing 3 1-hour sessions, but I know I have so much content. I was thinking, like, should I do 3 or 4? 3 seems like the right number because it's not like too overwhelming, I feel like. 3 is like a good way to break things up. There's like a beginning, middle, end. So I'll have and if you have a preference, just leave a comment or send me a message, because I want to make sure that it works for everyone. And what we'll be doing is we're going to go through activities and exercises that are proven, but also I know not just from reading that they're proven and that studies show, but like I've actually implemented these same strategies into my own life for my major transformations. And I know that anyone else can do it too. I just want to help everyone else live their best life. And what we'll do, some of the things we'll do is we'll assess ourselves. We will visualize what we want. What is our true dream life that we want to live? And then from there is we can establish actionable goals, because let's be honest, things don't happen overnight. This is not a this is how you get rich plan or any of that crap. This is really just to feel fulfilled in your life. And I think I said this on the last episode. I truly believe that no matter what your net worth is, you can reach financial freedom relatively quickly. If you just look at your overall personal finances with the right mindset. Actually, if you take a look behind me, as you may know, I've been redoing my office and I've been slowly adding things. We have, I started adding some books, and I was kind of picky with the books that I put up, not just the content, but also the aesthetic. Such a bee. But one of them is Dave Ramsey, The Total Money Makeover. And that one has helped me multiple times. And following that strategy not only got me out of a place where I thought I was going to have to file for bankruptcy, because I had a life event. I don't know how to describe it, but something happened in my life where I was in a situation where I had to do something or else I was going to have to file for bankruptcy. And I followed what Dave Ramsey laid out, this framework. And in less than 3 years, I was able to get out of debt, but also triple my salary and save up a nest egg to go start a new business. So I know from experience that these things are possible. But wow, I'm like going on a tangent. Make sure you sign up at cannabismomboss.com so that you can be included on the pre-sale pricing for the workshop. I'm really excited for it because this is like everything that I've been living for. This is my purpose. But also, if you're a Bravo TV lover, speaking of purpose, I am also the Blaze behind Bravo and Blaze, the podcast, which is live on Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern on this same YouTube channel, but also on Facebook and Twitter. The audio podcast is available on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. The handle on all social media platforms is at Bravo and Blaze, with and spelled out. I released a bonus episode this week on Monday with the one and only Reza Farhan of Shah's Sunset, who is going to be on a new show coming out on Peacock, airing January 12th, and it's called The Traders. And there's 3 other Bravo Labs, Kate Chastain, Brandy Glanville, and Kyle Cook, that are all going to be on as well. I can't wait to watch it. I think it's going to be funny. There's a $250,000 prize. And Rez and I talked about being partners on Amazing Race. So I'm going to continue manifesting that one, because I don't know if 2023 is our year for Amazing Race, but I'll just store it there for now. We'll see. I have to go through my whole manifestation as I build this course out or workshop. So we will see. And I'll tell you guys in the workshop what I wind up landing on. And then before I get into, why we're here, which is the question that I got last week, how to drive more traffic to your shop, I wanted to give a mom update because, well, I'm a mom. I have 4 daughters and a blended family, ages 18, that's my stepdaughter, 13. That's my daughter from not with my husband, but from a prior relationship. And then together we have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. And if you listen to my first live show of Cannabis Mom Boss, I told the story of how my 13-year-old bought an edible at school and took the edible at school, and how we went through I told the whole story about it, what our plan of action was after, how, they said that I just lost my train of thought because someone messaged me. This is my ADHD. But on that episode, I'll put a link in the show notes. You can hear how everything went down. Oh, how the principals and my lawyers suggested, or not suggested, but I asked them, I was like, should I talk about this on the podcast? And they were like, yes. So that whole story is up, but there's an update from that. So my kid got suspended for 5 days from school. Allegedly, or apparently, I don't know. This is just tea that I got from one of the, I'll just say somebody from the athletic department said that there's a rumor going around that the girl who sold her the edible got caught selling edibles again within that 5 days while my kid was out of school. So that seems like a big issue. And then also during my story, I mentioned that there's like this whole group of kids who are like, I don't know who's bullying who, but there's just whatever. Her and her best friend like were about to fight, quote unquote fight, which I do not condone, obviously. And I'm like, what? This is insane. This girl slept at my house. What are you talking about? So since that episode, which was like 2 weeks ago, I think, my kid got student of the month. Yeah, I know. Like, WTF? What kind of world are we living in? Like that thought for me, I don't know if I'm guessing that all parents, like, there's so many different reactions to that. Some people will be like, "Oh my god, my kid got student of the month. That's so amazing." Me, I'm like, I'm questioning what is the criteria for student of the month, because to me, if you take drugs at school, which is illegal, you committed like crimes at school. And I still don't know why they don't have like a Beyond Scared Straight program at schools these days. They need it. I volunteered. But in what world do you you do that and then you get student of the month? I'm like, are you kidding me? So then I thought about it more. I was like, you know what, maybe they gave me student of the month. I mean, they know me now. I feel like I've been going above and beyond in my parenting duty with just this one child that I have. And it just feels like I feel like they were like, just throw this lady a bone, give her her kid student of the month or something. I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to discredit my child's student of the month. I guess her technology teachers gave it to her because she stayed after a lot, which she had to do because she got suspended. But before that, she was staying after a lot because her grades were down. And I was like, hello, the guidance counselor is calling me. So now I have to get on you. So now you have to stay after, and I have to make sure that you're staying out. Like, it just, I don't recall my parents ever doing this much work when I was in school. Like, I felt bad if they had to do anything. Like, if I got a permission slip sent home or something, I'd be like, oh my God, I have to go ask my parents to sign this. They're going to be so annoyed with me. And obviously that's not like, I'm not saying that's the right way, But growing up like that, I'm like, wow, I am really doing a lot here. And then it's still not enough. But anyways, okay. So the other two younger kids, our oldest is away at college right now. She came home for Thanksgiving. She's coming home again around Christmas. Um, but for the two younger ones, we've had advent calendars for them, and that's been really cute and fun because one gets makeup. The 4-year-old is loving makeup, and I don't know how I feel about it. I'm a little torn because, and mind you, like, I feel like I've gone through, like, bringing up girls twice already now, but I get concerned when they get, like, overly into their looks, especially she's so young. She's only 4, and she's like, "Mommy, I look beautiful." And I'm like, "You are beautiful already. Like, it doesn't matter what you look like." And, I'm trying to be as PC as possible and do all the right things, but she really is loving it. And then, oh my gosh, the 2-year-old, if you look on my stories, like, I've taken some selfies with my 2-year-old because I still don't have full-time childcare. So I'm with her every Wednesday all day. And so it's been fun because I never got this time with any of my other kids. And I also, like, I don't know, it's just fun to see her progress and, like, her starting to talk and things like that. I forgot where this is going, but she dropped, like, this old flip phone that she had that she was using as a toy into, actually, I haven't told my husband this yet, into one of our, like, subwoofer speakers, just, like, not good. And I couldn't get it out. So I was like, "Ooh." And I remember my other kid, she, like, went around and collected all her old cell phones, like a stack of all, like, old iPhones. And so I just gave her one of those, and she, like, really loved it. And I mean, it doesn't work or anything, but she was like, "Boop, boop, boop," like, pretending. And I was like, "Oh no, is this, like, bad that she's copying me?" I mean, because she's obviously learned this behavior. This is not like a nature situation. It's not built in her DNA. But then this was kind of cute. She put the phone down on the floor and, like, propped up against the ottoman and had, like, 2 unicorns that you can, like, sit on for her size, and she kept posing. She, like, pretended that she was setting up shots and stuff, and I was like, "Oh my god." I don't know if this is good or bad, but I just want her to be happy. I don't know. Am I a bad influence or am I a good influence? I don't know. But I don't know. The 2-year-old is really testing all of us. She literally will just start screaming out of nowhere. And I'm like, I can't. This is abusive. Toddlers are abusive. And I try to do my best and not, like, let it get to me or anything. But man, it's brutal. Shout out to all the moms. All right, let's move on. So last week, I thought I had, like, slides and everything. And I did. I put together a little graphic, which is still available. You can go check that out. But today I actually got, like, 2 slides done. Woohoo! Slowly improving, getting better every time. That's the point, right? Progress over perfection. Um, but I want to answer the question, how to drive more traffic to your shop or to your online shop or to your sales page if you have one. All right. If you're watching on YouTube, I have a little PowerPoint slide here. Whoop, whoop. So everything I'm going to say right now, I'm going to be honest. Wait, I want to show my face for this for a second so you can say, okay, I'm going to be honest. All the stuff I'm about to tell you, you can Google. Okay. There's more to it than what you can Google, though, and I'll tell you why. But first, I'll go through, the basics of how you can use technology or business skills to drive more traffic, which essentially drives more sales or purchases, which means more money, right? So I will blow this up again. So the first thing, literally speaking. I know it sounds like, okay, this is basic, Jenny, come on. But speaking word of mouth, if that means going door to door or going up to new people that you've never met before, complete strangers, and introducing yourself, practicing your elevator pitch and giving them your card, like, don't be weird about it, but that emotional intelligence and social cues and social intelligence is also part of this whole learning process and being comfortable with being uncomfortable, because you're going to have to put yourself in situations that you wouldn't normally be in, or maybe even necessarily choose to be in if it were up to you. But how are you going to grow unless you get uncomfortable? So literally just speaking, and you can do that one on one, you can do that to small groups, you can do that to large groups, but there's tons of ways to use your actual voice. And I think that's really a big one, because I, especially being a Bravo content creator, um if you notice in that community, it's mostly like we are usually using the content that we've seen that Bravo put together, which is not our original content. And we're like replaying it usually. And maybe we do a caption or whatever. And the caption, what we have to say about it, what is behind, those words, and what our voice is, our opinion, our point of view, that's the part that people want to connect with. Because if you're trying to gain followers or get more traffic or get new customers or whatever it is you're trying to do, you have to talk about it and you have to have people connect with you. Otherwise, why are they going to go to you versus someone else? And no matter what, like, no matter how much money you put into advertising and marketing, if you don't touch, not like physically, but like if you don't connect with someone on an emotional level in some way, it doesn't have to be very profound and life-changing, but has to be relatable on some level. Like, how are you going to sell or, get them to take any action? So, using your voice, having that connection, and them like knowing that there's a person behind, all of this is, it sounds very like obvious, but some people overlook that. And you don't have to be on camera or use your voice, but you could also use your voice and not be on camera. I know some people are like nervous about showing their faces or putting themselves out there, getting judged or whatever. I mean, a lot of that you have to just get over. But I don't know, there's a lot of thing activities and exercises we could go through just around that. So that's a whole separate piece. But engaging, if you're, so this, you could take this in like the real world and then take it onto like the internet, okay? So low tech would be engaging and going to social events, going and talking, like going and hanging out wherever, like there's some kind of connection with what it is that you do. Start getting out there and talking to people and hear about what they do, and just be active. And same with social media, you, or even through email, like email people or comment on people's posts and send them a message if you have a question or something, like that's what it's there for. So the more you use it, the more you'll get out of it. And it's not about just like liking things or getting likes or getting followers. It's much more than that. It's really connecting with people one on one. And DMs are great too. Like, I feel like I make my biggest connections through DMs. Um, I mentioned earlier, like marketing, advertising, like I said, you can pay people to do that, or you can do it yourself, but you can do it ways that it's free. You can learn how to, like elevate your visuals on your social media, all of your branding, all of your marketing, all of your, maybe you upgrade your copyright so that you are maximizing the keywords that we know are proven to, have somebody take action or whatever. So there's so many things that you can do there. Hosting your own or sponsoring your own events to get people to come in and get them together. That's a good way to get more traffic. If you want, you can start, if you have a product, you can do giveaways. I do giveaways sometimes on Bravo and Blaze. Like, I have my whole merch shop, and I don't know. I've done collabs with other Bravo merch makers. Like, we get more email addresses. Like, you can just take it to another level. Like, there's pros and cons for all of these things, but these are just ideas that you can do. Like I said, collaborations, that always works well. And then a big one is blogging and podcasting, which I feel like people are either scared to do, or they think that it's like old school or not, I don't know, innovative enough. Like, it really doesn't have to be. It's getting long form content out to your audience. The more people, like, the strategy that works, that everyone tries to go for, what the goal is to reach as many people as possible, because not everyone is your ideal audience, right? So you want to narrow those people down, and by doing that, you have to reach a lot of people. Like, cast your net really wide and then start to bring it down. They call that like funneling, which I know is like, I kind of hate that word. It's like kind of a trigger word for me because it's too like businessy, and I don't like feeling like that. But it's true. You do have to get people to go along. And also, there's lots of studies that show people have to know or recognize your brand or have seen it like X amount of times before they even consider trusting you as a brand. And so that's really what it's all about. Think about the brands or the people that you follow or people you really love. What is it about them? Why do you follow them? Like, I love Lisa Barlow from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City because I think she's a badass entrepreneur and she's a mom. And also, what I really loved about her is that she is a Mormon 2.0, and has a tequila company, which is kind of unconventional, similar to me, and being in the cannabis industry, being a mom, and being a professional or former corporate citizen. So I like that she is pushing boundaries and setting new trends and modernizing the perception of Mormon 2.0s. Like, that's pretty much, it's very in line. So, like, that makes sense, right? I'll always support Lisa Barlow because that's what I'm passionate about. Excuse me. Ooh, that's the downside of being live. If you start coughing, good thing I don't smoke live because I'm such an ugly smoker and not cute at all. I'll be coughing, like I'll probably spit. It's just not cute. So anyways, let me talk about I'm going to talk about some more detailed tips on how you can drive more traffic. If you're like, okay, that's great what you just said, Jenny, but I don't have that much time and I want to like get things going right now. So right away on social media, you can start posting. Literally post. Like I said, you have to speak, use your voice, Talk about whatever it is that you are trying to promote or get people to go to, right? Post more pictures or videos of your product, get creative. This is where, using reels and using media creatively can pique people's interest and get more people to be drawn in. And like I said, that's like the funnel thing that we want to do. On Instagram, you can look at accounts that you like and that you love and look through their reels or even like in the reels feed. And you could do the same thing with TikTok. I'm only mentioning Instagram because that's like my go-to platform, but they're pretty much the same. There's just like different features or whatever. Um, but for me, I'll go through the Instagram reels and I'll see like either a sound I like an audio. Doesn't necessarily have to be a song. It could be somebody talking. Um, Even sometimes I like doing audio of housewives. Like sometimes if they're saying something ridiculous or whatever, you can, and then just start looking at the things that people like or what you like. And for me, I always want to make things that I already enjoy. So I'm not going to try to force myself to do something just because it's trending, but you can get lots of ideas from looking at others and never just copy people. That is very taboo and just like doesn't feel good. You want to be creative, put your own spin on it, figure out what it is that makes you you, and inject that into all of your messaging. Another thing you could do, like I mentioned, is giveaways. Show people your product, show them behind the scenes, um, and get your product to someone you know who would love it, who would talk about it, who would like talk about it to their own friends, or bonus points if they'll talk about it on social media. I don't like to do like this I'll pay you thing. It feels kind of weird and icky. I know people do that, but I'm just, me personally, I'm not into that. What else? I mentioned collaborations. You can send product to quote unquote influencers or whatever. But I would never expect that they're going to post unless you have an actual contract. And if that's the kind of business that you want to have, then I think there are proper ways to do that. But that's not really the business that I am looking to do. So I don't really I could certainly guide someone through that process, but it's not really for me. Also, ads, there is no shame in taking out ads. Just like you invest in anything that you have passion about or that you want to make a return on your investment, like your education. I mean, I'm not going to say paying for ads is the same as getting an education, but even like, I don't know, your outfit that you wear, that's an investment. Like, I don't know, that maybe might not be a good example because you don't need to have luxury clothes to put your best foot forward, but whatever. I see ads as a part of investing back into your own business. So, however, I would do it strategically. I wouldn't pay for ads unless you're doing it with intention. And if it's not in your budget, then just use organic methods. There's plenty of them out there. Like such as what was that beauty queen who kept saying such as? Can't remember, but I just got a flashback of her. So email marketing. You literally, if you have someone's email address, you can literally write your own tailored email to that person directly. If you have a group of people, you can put them all in one email. And like, I like to do BCCs if I send an email to a group and I don't want them to know who else is looking at the email. So I don't have to like copy and paste. You could do it that way, or there are lots of tools that can help you, like MailChimp. That one is probably the easiest one to get started on, but there's plenty more that are even more robust and can hold up to, like, I don't know, millions of email addresses. But if you're just starting out, you can literally write it down on a piece of paper. You could keep a spreadsheet on your laptop or on your phone, or you can get a free tool like MailChimp. And then these types of tools, they always have like, a paid service. So if you wanted to upgrade, you really liked it and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting business out of this, or I'm getting, what I wanted to get out of this, whether it's like more followers or more traffic or more sales, whatever it is, that's when you can start tailoring things. And same goes with, like I said, before, blogging and podcasting. So with those long form content creation, you can use things like SEO, which is search engine optimization, where the actual words that you use are being used in the search that Google is using in their search tool. Those are called keywords. Hopefully this is not brand new, but if it is brand new, great. You're welcome to learn. This is what we're here for. But again, I said things like upgrading visuals, audio, and video. Oh, some of the tools I use for upgrading, or even starting out with visuals, audio, and video, you can use tools like Canva. I use Canva for almost everything. For my videos, I use iMovie. That's on all Apple products, I think. So you don't have to invest a lot in, you know, putting time and effort into trying to drive traffic to, your own business. But what I wanted to get to next is this next part of the slide, which is elevating. So I could tell you all day long, that you can do XYZ, Google it. You'll find so many things on how to drive more traffic to your shop, right? But what I found is it doesn't matter what you do. You could have a team of people who are just churning away all day, every day, trying to get people to go to your website or whatever it is. But if you don't know why they're going there and for what, then that might be where you're getting stuck. And for me, honestly, that first part of like owning a business has been figuring out what my goals are, how to stay authentic to who I am, and then, like, why am I doing this? I know why, like, for myself, what I get out of it selfishly, but there has to be a bigger purpose, right? And so I've had conversations, and this is no disrespect to anyone who may have said this to me, but I've thought about these things, and I think I have an answer for some of them now. So, this term influencer, okay? I'm going to talk about that for a second because I really hate that word. And I've said this before, it's like a trigger word for me. And then also, I think it was with it's PKAV, I don't know what her name is Priscilla. She changed her handle, but we were talking and shoot, she said that she liked the word, or they started using the word ambassador instead of influencer. And I'm like, I still don't like that term either. I don't know what it is. And I'm like, maybe we need to define what an influencer is, because to me, there's like this new definition of what an influencer is based off of what has been created out of social media. Like, you literally, just because you have a lot of followers, you can get paid to show off anything, right? And that's where, like, you see the Kardashians, like, their success, right? And I do think everyone can have financial success. Like, the Kardashians, they don't need as much money as they have or keep making, but they continue to do it because it's like easy for them, because they've gotten to this point where they have such a big following, it doesn't even matter what they do. They can just do what they want, and the people are there, and the people who want to engage will engage, and the ones who don't. But keeping that in mind, like, well, what does an influencer mean? Like, they are influencers because of their aesthetic, right? That's pretty much what it started out as. I think it's grown more since then because they've been in the spotlight for so long, but that's what brought everyone in, right? And don't forget, like in the early 2000s, Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears, they were like the first like influencers. They just happen to also have these other jobs where one's a pop star, one is an actress, and one is a very rich daughter. I don't know. Who has, I mean, Paris has, I have so much respect for Paris, by the way. But side note, so when I think of influencer, I'm like, well, what does that really mean? If it's just that, oh, I wanna show people what I like and they buy it and then I get to go on vacation. Like, I need to know exactly, like, what does this mean if you want to be an influencer? Because some could say Donald Trump is an influencer. That guy, I mean, as much as I dislike that guy, I cannot deny the fact that he is technically an influencer. He can go anywhere he wants and say whatever he wants, and he has people who are loyal and dedicated to him. It's weird, but it's because he has a strong stance on certain topics. And those people who resonate with him, they will ride or die. Just like I hate cilantro. I hate it. And so whenever I meet someone who also hates cilantro, it's like, boom, instant besties. Okay. So I challenge you all to think like, what does it even mean to be an influencer? Do I want to be an influencer? And what is it? What parts of being an influencer do I want to be? Because I don't like that word. And so taking that a step further, and this is not just from one person. And I appreciate the honesty from a few people I've heard. Well, I just want to be famous, and that one, I'll be honest, like, makes me laugh because I'm like, "Well, what does famous mean? How do you quantify famous?" Because right now I'm in a room with myself and I am the most famous person in this room because no one else is here. If I have even just like 10 of my Bravo and Blaze followers, my top 10 followers in a room with me and I don't know, some famous bowler that nobody knows, like, but maybe this guy is like the number one bowler in the world. Like, I'm gonna be more famous than him, and that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to show you how this idea of being famous, like, that's not a real thing. Like, how do you quantify that? What does famous equal? Like, remember, I'm a scientist, scientist and artist. That's my specialty. But I need to know, like, okay, you want everyone to look at you, like you want everyone's attention. Is that what it is? Like, it's okay if these are true. I'm not knocking any of these things. I just need you all to think about, okay, what's the underlying reason? Why do I want their attention? Because it makes me feel good? Do I want money? Because I mean, there could be a random person who's famous at the local gas station. Like, if that's all you need, that's very simple to achieve. I feel like I can help you do that. Or like even, oh, Andrea Denver. Andrea Denver is muy famous. Famoso, is that the right word? In Italia. He was on Celebrity Big Brother and like he's he's famous in Europe. But like in the US, he's not as famous, but he's still Andrea. So it's like, what do you mean by this? And does that really truly bring you passion? How does that make you feel? And another question that I've been asking people lately is, let's say you do have all the money in the world. You have all the houses, all the cars, all the planes, all the yachts. You've been around the world 5 times. You're actually kind of tired, to be honest, of traveling. You just want to like relax. But you're rested now. Picture the home that you want to be living in, like majority of the time. And then what are you doing during your days? Like, how are you spending your days? Are you staying at home and like maybe cooking and eating all day? Are you m- making art? Are you making music? Like, what are you doing? Because those are the things, like, whatever those things are that bring you joy, that's what you ultimately want to have as your life, right? I mean, am I crazy? Because I want to live a life where I am truly being fulfilled every single day. And that when I wake up in the morning, I'm excited to wake up and go accomplish and tackle all these things I have on my list. So that's my question for you all is, what brings you joy? What is the legacy I want to leave behind? For me personally, I know what it is. For my daughters, if not for anything, if it's just for my daughters, which is not, it's for everyone out there. I want to lead by example to show one how to live a fulfilled, healthy, happy life, but also be able to create opportunities for those who may not have had that guidance. I didn't have any guidance growing up. I'm 40 years old and I'm like, it's all like I'm reaching enlightenment. I'm just kidding. I'm being dramatic, but it's all making sense now because for my children, I want to make sure that they don't have to grow up in a world that still abuses women, that still takes freedoms away from people, and all of these negative things that are out there. I want to do my small part to help my children and others out there to just live their best life and live comfortably, free, and financially secure. I mean, whatever your definition is of success is definitely going to be different than my definition, but that's okay. And let's help you get to your definition of success, whatever it is. Mine might be surprising, actually. Like a lot of people, I feel like I want to be in a place where I can have an entire business that is completely nonprofit and helping the world. Like that's the financial goal that I want to get to a point to. And but your goals might be, hey, I just want to like work from home. And we can make that happen. I have done this so many times. Like I almost feel like a transformation queen. But anyways, I want to go to my next, how do I do this? Here we go. My next slide. So I wanted to make sure that I give you more information on the 2023 Cannabis Mom Boss Manifestation Workshop, which is going to address all of these things that I just talked about. Because, like I said, you can go through all of the tried and true tests or actions in taking next steps and building traffic towards your site. But if you don't know why you're doing it, is that the best use of your time? Like, let's start from what is it that I really want? Because I truly feel like, and I'm guilty of this too. Sometimes people get caught up in like the demands of their environment and their surroundings, and they neglect what it is that they truly want for themselves. And that's when you become unhappy. That's when depression kicks in. That's when you have anxiety. And it's like, why live like this? We do not need to live like this. So, who is this workshop for? This is for anyone who is open to getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, putting yourself in a place where you are going to grow. I look back and do like performance reviews of myself once a year. I usually do around my birthday, but this is a good time. Obviously, it's like the New Year's coming up. But I like to look back at the goals that I set for myself a year prior. And even if I don't reach them, I still have made progress on almost every single goal, usually every goal. And then some of my goals I've met, and then some of my goals I've exceeded. Like, here's an example. Last 2022, I went to a cannabis conference in New York City. That was like a big deal for me because and it's funny because I used to travel like every day, every week. But now traveling for me is like a big deal because I have so many kids and it's like, it's stressful. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to this one cannabis conference in New York City. I'm going to work my butt off. Redman is going to be there. My goal is to get a picture with him at some point. Just a picture with him. Okay. So I not only go to this conference, but as I'm running in, literally, I was like sweating, but I'm running in and I look over and Redman is sitting right there on the curb in front of Javits. And I was like, because I was running in to Javits to go try to make my goal happen. But then I had to stop myself because I'm like, I'm running to get there, but he's right here. So I stopped. I introduced myself. We got a picture together, but that wasn't even it. Then I get a full interview with him, with Redman, the Funk Dr. Spock. How amazing is that? Like he was one of the first major figures in media at that time when I was young who made me feel like smoking weed doesn't make you an awful person or make you like unsuccessful or whatever. Like he was a pioneer for me. So it all has come full circle. Oh, and especially since his buddy, one of his best buddies is Method Man, Johnny Blaze of Wu-Tang Clan, which is where Jenny Blaze came from. So it's like all full circle. I manifested that. I manifested that shit. And not just for me, but for a friend of mine as well. She was like, I'm just starting. How do we do that? I'm like, why don't you come with me to this conference? She's like, okay. So she comes. She's like, how do I meet Redman? I'm like, I was like, look at me. I'm like, what is your elevator pitch? Go through it right now. And this is like day one. We rehearsed it. We walked through. I was like, who are you? You know, I like pumped her up. This is one of my skills. This is one of my passions is being a hype girl. I was a cheerleader back in the day. I love that. This is where it's cut. Like it's all making sense now. I like to cheer people on and I just like pumped her up. I looked at her. I was like, you got this. If you know who you are, then you can do this. And that's all you really need. Like know who you are and what your goal is and then be intentional with your actions. And who this is not for is anyone who is trying to make like a quick buck or anything. Like this is not what we're doing here. We are trying to change mindsets, set ourselves up for long-term success. There's no quick fix to anything. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I've gone through weight transformations. I've lost over 100 pounds in the past. Then after I got pregnant with my second, I gained a bunch of weight back. I lost over 70 pounds. Then to be honest, I stopped keeping track. I'm like, this is too much. But it was like rinse and repeat. I was doing the same thing over and over again. And I had to get back in this same mindset. Like I was going up and down. I'll be honest. Like I'm not perfect by any means. Like I'm the furthest. But I noticed these cycles of like, oh my gosh, I'm gaining weight. And oh my gosh, I'm getting in my head. Like, oh my gosh, why am I in my head? And, I might still fall into some of those dips, but I have the tools to get myself out. And that's what I think is most important. So, what you will leave with when you take my workshop is you're going to have such a clear vision of what it is that you want to accomplish for 2023. But not only that, you're going to know or have a plan set up on how you accomplish those goals, setting yourself up for success, and then you can't fail. And then you'll be able to use these exercises, activities, techniques, all these things on your own for in all areas of your life, not just, for business, not just for your own personal growth. You can use this in everyday life. So like I said, I'm going to have most likely 3 1-hour sessions, maybe 4. Send me a message if you have a preference or like if you're thinking about joining and you're not sure, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I don't have a calendar in front of me, but I really wanted to start next week. I think I might be starting the week between Christmas and New Year, because I feel like that's a good time to like, I don't know, reset. So I hope that helps some of you in either getting started or working towards getting more traffic on your sales page or online shop. But also, I hope that you start thinking about, like the bigger picture. What is it, when I'm gone, what do I want to be known for? And like I said, reach out to me if you have any questions. And please make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you can be updated when we go live every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern for Cannabis Mom Boss. Don't forget to sign up for pre-sale pricing of the 2023 Cannabis Mom Boss Manifestation Workshop at cannabismomboss.com. And stay lit, fam.